Come on. It says we're live.
Yeah, lies.
Oh, and there it goes.
All right. If you would like to keep
Heat.
right now, it's heat. It was 76 degrees when I got to the gym today.
Yeah.
So
Yesterday.
heat and go this morning. In Wichita, it was 76, and then it just fell off the table.
It was 42 at my house this
Yeah.
morning.
It was 41 when I got up.
Trust me, Wichita's weird.
Yeah.
If you would like to keep the environmental conditions comfortable,
Yeah.
donate here. Because it's Texas.
Yeah.
If you like coffee, talk to these guys, kingharvest.com. Remembering that we've done 2 anthologies with them. So if you would like to support everybody, buy their coffee.
Yes. Support us starving authors.
Support us starving authors and starving publishers, too, for that matter. tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves tees for all your smart-ass t-shirt needs. Friend of ours, let them know you heard about it from us. We have an announcement, semi-important. Let me call it up real quick. Make sure I get the details right.
Details.
Yeah, I want to get the details on this right because we're doing a favor for somebody that's good folks. We're doing a favor for them.
Everybody report to the auditorium.
It's Fincon.
Fincon, yeah. All right, Fincon needs a favor, guys. Kevin Eikenberry, fantastic author, is teaching the Writers Workshop.
Yes.
At Fincon this year. And so far, only 3 people signed up. Seriously.
It's cheap.
Yeah. It starts Thursday before the con. There's a homework assignment that'll be coming out pretty quick. And Kevin will probably be doing some virtual meetings. If you already have a FinCon membership, it's $65. If you want to do a membership and a workshop altogether, it's $120. Come on, guys. Kevin Eichberry is a good guy. He teaches well. Let's fill up his class, all right?
Okay. Todd, you got, since you're getting questions, you're in the con, go ahead and answer them on the chat.
Oh, there's Todd, yes.
Just a reminder, folks. Mary Three Names was charging $750 for the same thing that Kevin is doing.
Yeah. What is convention? Todd is on here. He will be able to give there. And
yeah, there,
voila, there it is.
February 14th through 16th, 2025 in Dallas, Texas.
Rita and I will be there.
Cedar will be there.
Cedar will be there.
I'll be there.
Jim will be gimping around. We will be doing Racketeer Press stuff. So
I won't.
You might not want to miss FinCon. We're going to have a good time. John will be there. A lot of Racketeer Press will be there. We'll be having general Racketeer Press shenanigans will be going on.
Oh, Lord.
Which reminds me, I need to send in my money to Todd. Todd, make it you got 4 people. I just got to get you the money.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I've got Bubbles my Think pudding. I can't remember if I bought a membership or not. I'm going to talk. Todd, I'm going to talk to you later.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
25% through the 21st century.
Ouch. Seriously? Ouch.
Richard, really? I'm not that bad. I do have a semi-rant this morning.
Oh, Lord.
For those of you, we have Lloyd, Bem, and Sanford in the peanut gallery. So smartest comments from off screen are from those guys.
Yeah. So anyway, the Del Toro, who is the new, semi-new Sec Nav, has decided in his infinite wisdom that information warfare experts should be eligible for Command C.
What?
Yeah. You're going to take an information warfare expert.
Computer geek. In charge of a ship?
Yeah.
Those 2 things don't run together.
What's next? Medical Corps in charge of the ship?
Yeah. Vernaza, who is the commander of the information forces, said this is a pivotal evolution in how the Navy views and employs IW capabilities across all domains of naval warfare.
I don't know of any computer geeks that are really good at leadership.
Would that be like the chief they busted? They just broke for illegally putting a Starlink on her boat?
Yeah.
And lying about it?
Yeah. You know, I was a line officer. Yeah, I could have technically gotten to command. Matter of fact, I was in line to go to command until I got told I had too many years enlisted, so they weren't going to offer that to me. But aviators can command ships, which frost a lot of the surface warfare types. But there are a few other things that go into that. For one, having had a couple of friends that commanded ships, they have to go, the aviators have to go through basically SWAS, Surface Warfare School.
I should hope so.
Yeah. And then they do not immediately get command. They will go to a ship. They will learn the ship. And then they will go to what's called a deep draft, normally an ARG type ship, LPD, LPH, something like that.
Gator Farm.
Gator
Navy.
The XO is always a fully qualified surface warfare command eligible person. So that surface warfare XO basically guides the aviator through the learning curve on the ship. Only if they pass that are they allowed to command a carrier.
Well, and it makes sense for aviators to command bird farms.
Yes.
I mean, they know how they're supposed to operate.
But they were smart enough that they don't get the bird farm until after they've done a deep draft.
Right.
Because deep draft ships are different than cruiser and destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
They handle differently. They have different freeboard, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm just sitting here. I was infantry for a while.
Yeah.
And then I was a technician, calibration technician.
Yeah.
Now, in the infantry, despite the fact that it was a bunch of dumbasses, and I was one of them, you have leadership schools. You have training on how to run a group of men.
Yeah.
Technicians don't do that.
No.
And the people in charge are usually poor leaders because they're electronics geeks or computer geeks or whatever. They aren't really qualified to command.
Yeah. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the idea of a cyber geek running a cavalry troop or a cavalry squadron.
No. Okay.
Rick is also correct. If the aviator is going to a nuclear carrier, they also have to go through the nuke power pipeline. So that's another year or so.
No. Cyber geeks, no kind of geek needs to be in charge of a bunch of cav troopers.
No.
And God forbid.
Bad idea.
God forbid you put them in the infantry.
Either one's bad idea. Plus, there's no room for the furry suit in the belly of a Bradley.
No. Greg, they have not said anything about what path the IW guys are going to follow. I spent about 2 hours last night digging through the changes to Navy regs. And other than the change to Article 10,001, there's no other changes. So it's, I look at it. I mean, I worked with cyber. I worked with the IW folks. They remind me a lot of the doctors and lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a professional. I'm the best at what I do. So I know everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many doctors and lawyers kill themselves in airplanes?
Wasn't there the V-wing Beechcraft called the Doctor Killer for a reason?
Yeah, that was the
V-tail.
Yeah, the V-tail Beech, early Beechcraft.
Well,
you know, you can't overcome the laws of physics.
I'm thinking of all of the cavalry specialists and quite frankly, E5s that I've had that have caused me to drink enough Malox to float a battleship.
Malox don't they still issue Malox to NCOs in the combat arms?
As an E6, I used to wash my Malox down with coffee.
Greg, I actually reached out to a friend of mine who's former 10th Fleet last night to see what he thought. He's a cyber guy. And after he stopped laughing, he said, the only thing he said is, I'm glad I'm fucking retired.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all those E4s and E5s running amok under a geek.
Somehow the good idea fairy
Had a bad idea.
This is the good idea fairy.
Well, think of all those E6 and E7s that are taking Tylenol right now and going to lay down.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I can't imagine a geek NCO. And when I say geek, electronics, radio technicians, any kind of geek.
Yeah.
A geek NCO trying to lead men. They don't have the
I have a series of stories of my tour of Aberdeen Proving Grounds dealing with geek NCOs.
Yeah.
Lightning fast chicken fuckers.
Yeah.
I ran across one kid, and I say kid because he was a corporal, Marine corporal, who was actually a decent leader and a decent geek.
Yeah.
But that was in 5 years in Southwest Asia.
Yeah. Well, the thing is a geek NCO is great running with geeks. A geek NCO, maybe I could be wrong. I don't see him. I don't see him with a bunch of knuckle dragging Neanderthals
Jumping out of airplanes.
sneaking around and doing bad things to bad people. That's just
Anthology idea. Officers put in charge of the wrong sorts of units.
no kidding. Holy crap.
Okay, that'll be for 2025.
Oh no. Is Jana on here? Because no. Okay.
As soon as Mike sees that, you know it's going to happen.
If you're going to do officers, just do Butterbars in charge of anything.
Well, that's Butterbars aren't in charge. Butterbar is just the mouthpiece for the E6 or E7.
Depends on the butter bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if he's a Mustang,
Well, there are always going to be exceptions.
yeah.
See, I honestly don't.
I think the other exception, that's the Butterbar comes in, and he knows that his time at West Point qualified him to know more about infantry operations than any NCO that ever lived.
Most of the Mustangs I've known should have been breveted straight to first lieutenant, getting out of OCS or whatever. If you've made NCO, especially if you've made E6, if you've made E6 and you've had to take a Butterbar by the hand and lead him through, sir, map, sir. If you've had to hold a Butterbar's hand and you go to OCS, you should be breveted straight to first lieutenant.
I remember Doug Smith. Doug was one of our JOs in VP4 years and years ago. Very quiet, very meek, very mild guy. Distinguished from officers.
Oh.
And Doug was one of those guys that, you look up the term bookish and it's his picture.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great career in the Navy. Got out of the Navy and had gotten his master's degree. Went back and got his PhD.
That's what ruined him.
Yeah. In most cases, yes. In Doug's case, it went the other way. The man was absolutely friggin' brilliant. And he ended up at the War College as an instructor. And they started bringing in some new programs. And they looked around for somebody that could run the programs. And they looked at Doug and went, "You were an officer. You were an aviator. You can do this." And he went, "Okay." He ended up retiring from the War College after putting together a joint program between War College and PG School
Mm-hmm.
in a very interesting area. Was named Professor Emeritus for both the War College and for PG School. And sadly, he passed away 2 weeks ago. But from where he started
Mm-hmm.
to where he ended up
Mm-hmm.
is not the normal
Right.
progression.
Yeah.
Nope. In other news, good, bad, or indifferent, James Earl Jimmy Carter Jr. passed.
Yep.
And that's about as where I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. He made 100 years.
He made 100 years. He did.
He still looked worse than John Paul Jones after 100 years in a casket full of brandy.
Yeah.
And I will not speak ill of the dead. So moving on.
The weather has been interesting.
No kidding.
70s yesterday, 40s today out here.
I got up when I got up and had my morning coffee on the deck on our front porch. It's 43 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I take a shower. I get in the car. I go into Wichita. It's 76. I come back here. It was 53.
Yeah.
Well, you remember last year when it snowed and y'all had like 2 inches of snow on the ground. Here, we had 6 inches of snow in tiny town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ian has told me the story about the weather witch because of the tornado in the 70s. There's a weather witch that was living here in Iowa Park, and she cast a spell. We don't get precipitation. They get it north of us, south of us, east of us, and west of us. But right here,
there's actually a teardrop shape.
Yeah.
That's I forget if the tail's on Electra and that teardrop's on Wichita, or if it's on Wichita, teardrop's on Electra. But that teardrop is the hottest part of Texas.
Yep.
You'd think down on the border would be hotter. No, no.
It's here.
Usually it's in this area is the hottest part of Texas. And we're either getting no rain whatsoever, or we're breaking out the scuba gear so we get to the shop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember last April when for the con that we won't name, and we got like 10 inches of rain that night.
Yeah.
Yep. We were driving home in that.
Yeah.
All of us were.
Yeah. 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 That was the night I slid off 287 doing 30 miles an hour.
Yep.
Went and bought new tires the next day.
Yeah. Watching the tornadoes. Yes, we were.
And the one guy going, "Where's Pumpkin Center?" And I'm like, it's out where I live. Why? Well, I got a wall cloud there.
Yeah.
Well, we had 7 years of drought, and then we broke it in 2 months.
Yeah.
2 weeks, actually. We had back-to-back 500-year flood events.
Yeah.
Happens once every 500 years, back-to-back.
Sorry, brought the rain from South Texas.
Well, no, this is before you and Jim got here.
Yeah.
But there's a semi-famous photo. There's some idiots built a very expensive hotel in a floodplain.
Yeah.
And across
We're
from
still trying to tear it down.
Sludge Falls.
Yeah.
And there's a very famous photo of the van, the airport transport van for that hotel with water up to the driver's side window.
Yeah. In the parking lot in front of the hotel.
Yep.
Yeah. Weather is an interesting phenomenon. And many times it's actually affected by the land itself, which a lot of people don't understand. When I lived in South Carolina, Savannah River.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
The Savannah River impacted what we saw in Columbia,
Right.
either as a magnet or a repeller. And it would repel rain. It would actually push rain to the north side or to the south side because of the difference in temperature over the river itself. We get the same thing here with the Red River.
Yeah, but it's more the mud flats than the river.
Well, it's
itself.
Red River combined with the Wichita Mountains.
Yeah.
The speed bumps north of the Wichita.
Yeah.
I should laugh at them. They are the remnants of a very high mountain range, but they're kind of short.
Now. Mhm.
Yeah. They're kind
They're
But
really big hills.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call them mountains any place except Oklahoma.
And
the
Jesse makes a good point. Oklahoma City was built where the river, where it is, because the tribe said the tornadoes didn't cross the river.
They lied.
Which is, no, it's actually been mostly true.
but that
Yeah, but they told us they had the same story about Waco being built where Waco was.
Yeah.
Because the local natives said, never have a tornado here.
Yeah.
Lying
And what
sacks
happened in
of shit.
1953?
Yeah.
lying sacks of shit.
Yeah.
But those and the Wichita
Well,
Mountains,
yeah, but that was Waco.
Wichita Mountains, I think they top out at 2,000 feet,
Yeah,
maybe
something like that.
something like that. You'd be surprised. Even that little bitty bump on the plains affects the weather. It's amazing.
Well, so even the man-made things can. It was never official, but I lived in southern Ohio, and the dividing line for weather was I-70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bad weather passed north of I-70, which was like 10 miles away from my house.
Yep.
The bad weather all north of it. That much flat concrete changed the wind current.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Rockies to the west of Amarillo and the Panhandle. Has anybody ever seen a cue ball or pool ball rolling down the side of a pool table?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling down you'll get a spitting blue norther spit out of Canada, and they'll roll right down the Rockies and scream right through Amarillo. It's just amazing to watch it.
Put up another barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
Like they used to say, the only thing between Amarillo and Canada was 2 stray moose and a barbed wire fence with a strand down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing is too, the west side of the Rockies are wet. The east side is dry.
Yeah, because the storms hit the Rockies and drop all their.
Water to come over.
And you get what's called mountain wave, which if you're an aviator and somebody says mountain wave, you automatically cringe because that is turbulent as hell.
Well, it's an updraft, isn't it?
It's updraft and downdrafts.
Oh.
No, it's the leading edge of a sandstorm.
Yeah. And Winkle Red says, well, you're 200 feet up on an FCC tower in Borger when that nonsense happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
No.
Well, I mean, we were all doing fine with the C-130 until the Terp decided to puke.
Yeah.
I've been when I say everybody knows what I mean by Canadian brakes or caprock brakes, right? The brakes are where you have a plateau like the caprock.
Yeah. And it falls off.
The brakes are the angled area where it falls off. You've got draws and little tiny valleys. Those are the brakes. Canadian brakes, you've got the high plains and the Canadian River goes across. And it's for millions of years, it's carved out this deep trough.
Yeah.
And the brakes are the edges that are all, and they're full of salt cedar and various stuff and ghosts and peacocks and serial killers with axes and all sorts of shit. And a lot of times if you're working up the Panhandle, get down the brakes, you can't do it on a motor vehicle. You've got to be on a horse.
Yeah.
To get down the brakes, either on the caprock, which is the edge of the high plains, or through the Canadian brakes, you have to be on a horse. You cannot get a vehicle down there.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, when you're on a horse and it's 2 a.m. and you're looking for that lost idiot kid, and you come up that draw onto the caprock, and the temperature drops 40 degrees, the horse decides, yep, it's barn time, and you ain't stopping him.
Yeah. Barn time or he's going to the trailer, one or the other.
Yeah.
And you're just along for the
You're
ride.
along for the ride.
Unless he can find a low hanging limb.
Yeah.
Okay, I've come out of those brakes more than once into a screaming 40 mile an hour wind and 40 degree drop in temperature. That just ain't fun.
You want to talk about wind, buildings, New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We had it not to that extent in Arlington, Virginia, where I worked. You would be trying to walk to work in the morning, and the wind would be blowing down those alleys between buildings. And it was literally enough to knock you over.
Never lost anything in New York.
And if the wind was blowing straight down the street, you were either trudging at a 30-degree angle into it or going, oh my God, I'm going to blow 3 blocks past where I'm trying to go in 2 steps.
Yet another reason why I will never set foot in New York City unless somebody pays me.
You know, I've been to the 5th Ward in Houston. The first time I got shot at was in New York City.
Cedar and I were looking to move someplace before we settled on Texas. I always went, okay, there are certain states I am not moving to. Not going to California.
Yeah.
Not going to Louisiana. And I'm certainly not going to Oklahoma where all the trees lean south. I mean, they ain't much trees, but they all point south.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get into northeast Oklahoma, there's trees out the yin yang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because the Ozarks.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's that constant wind.
Yeah.
So where does Cedar move me? Basically Oklahoma.
Don't feel bad.
You are
Don't
not
feel
in
bad.
Oklahoma.
The whole reason we
It
got
does?
moved up here, not only because of the peer group, but it's 20 miles from the border, and she can get me out of Texas on a day trip.
No, it may not be Oklahoma, but I can guarantee you we breathe Oklahoma quite a bit here.
And Arizona and New Mexico.
And
It's the wind up here gets rather interesting. And it does fall off the cap rock. And you do get some interesting cloud formations. Somebody earlier had mentioned roller clouds. And you also get rotor clouds coming off the cap rock.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really interesting. You're driving along, and all of a sudden, ahead of you is nothing but roller clouds. And they're spaced about 3 to 4 miles apart. And they go to the horizon. And you go, hey, okay, we're going to get some interesting winds.
Here comes the weather.
weather's going to get spicy.
And
Here comes the
your
weather.
mileage goes from 27 to 21
Mm-hmm.
14.
because you're going uphill against the wind. Lenticular clouds, yes.
The kinetic interfacing with that known Western invasive species, the tumbleweed, when it's got a 40 to 50 knot wind behind it, is really bad on your vehicle's finish,
Yeah.
by the way. Everybody thinks, oh, tumbleweeds. I see tumbleweeds. I see fire hazard and scratched up paint.
Yeah.
Well, that's only if you're lucky enough to be in a vehicle when you meet it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been center punched by a tumbleweed, but I would hate to be hit by a tumbleweed at that speed.
It's not fun.
I remember one year I had that rental car. I came down from Denver for the Blogger Auto,
Mhm.
and all the wind and the damn tumbleweeds. That car had to be repainted when I turned it back in.
I had a squad car, had a brand new decals. The Scotch Light 3M
Ooh,
retro reflective decals.
those pretty ones.
The pretty ones that reflect all the light.
Yeah.
I was going along half as a climb at high tide, and a tumbleweed about the size of my car jumped up out of a draw and ambushed me. And I hit it and just exploded. I was going pretty good. And they had to go back to Central Services.
Yeah.
That very expensive Scotch-Lite 3M reflective decal, gone.
Gone.
Yep.
Well, when I was stationed in California, we were down at Barstow for the races, and they had a what's the best way to say this? They had an event in Death Valley with a windstorm,
Okay.
which picked up a shit ton of dirt and sand. And we saw cars coming up the interstate with a shiny side and a painted side. These cars had been caught in that dust storm, and it literally sanded the car, the entire paint off the car, sanded the windows. And these people were pulling off like,
Are you saying you wouldn't have been?
Oh, I would have been pulling off and stopping somewhere. I would not have tried to drive through that
About
shit.
every two or 3 years, we would grab inmate workers, the trustees, and a jar of Flitz polishing compound. And on the anybody remember the old strobe edge light bars?
Yeah.
Hated those damn things. But they would.
I remember Federal Air Sirens.
Oh yeah.
I do too. But with a jar of Flitz and polishing the light bars because they were all sandblasted to the point that they weren't exactly clear anymore.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds and speeds. God's ninja stars. Yes.
People do realize tumbleweeds are an invasive species, right?
Yeah.
Were not known in the U.S. prior to the 1800s.
That's because, after all, the official name is Russian thistle.
Yeah, it's a Russian thistle.
So is Johnson grass.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the tumbleweeds because they're a personal pain in my ass.
Yeah.
Why would anybody import Johnson grass?
It was not deliberately imported.
Neither were tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
It was imported in the alimentary tracts of cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like how the mesquite
Been moving north.
has been moving north.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Rick is correct. The actual plant is Russian thistle.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Came over in hay, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
how Johnson grass got
Yeah.
it.
It was started in South Dakota. In hay,
Contamination in wheat seeds.
wheat seeds. Okay.
Yeah.
Started in South Dakota. It's from what if I'm right, I could be wrong, but I seem to remember it started in South Dakota.
And that's how Johnson grass got to Australia too.
Well, you've seen that damn khaki weed around here.
Yeah.
I hate that stuff. And it is and it wasn't here 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a South American, came up on somebody's shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody tells me that the mesquite weren't a problem up here 10 years ago either.
Yeah, they weren't.
No, not to the lionfish and ballast tanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
The zebra mussels.
Zebra mussels.
Yeah.
Which we are getting all in Texas lakes. And it sucks. Everybody's, zebra mussels aren't too bad. The water's clear. And trust me, you get a zebra mussel infestation, the water in your lake will be clear.
Yeah.
You won't be able to have anything in there, but the water will be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of things that have moved because of transport and the ease of transport now are just absolutely stunning.
Well, and then of course there's the South American hippos
Yeah.
that they're trying to
Well,
neuter.
that was done on
What?
purpose.
Yes. One of the so here, and of all people, the fat electrician brought this up. So
Did you say neuter?
yes, neuter. They're trying to geld hippopotami.
What?
So
Did they pull the hippos on this?
no, they did not. However, it is a result of American interference in Colombia. Our government told the Colombian government, because there was a legal case up here, that the Colombians can't go in and kill off the hippo herd.
Fucking hide and watch.
Yeah.
Because the Colombians thought was, we can set up hunts
Yeah.
and we can charge crazy rich Americans to come down here
That's what I
and
do.
shoot hippos.
That's what I do. Problem solved. Problem staying solved.
But no. So the big plan is, they tried injecting them with some sort of compound that would cause them to no longer reproduce. Doesn't work. So they decided the next big plan was they got to capture male hippopotami and do surgery on them.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
fine.
part of the problem is, unlike most male animals, mammals at least, hippopotami have internal genitalia.
So
They're
let me get it straight. Catching them, anesthetizing them, doing the snip,
Mm-hmm.
transferring them back, the antibiotics and turning them loose versus $2.75 for a Swift Oryx, $3.75 right behind the ear. Pow, done.
Yeah, well,
Well, think about it. If you're going to get close enough to catch, I'm not going to get close enough to catch one.
Nope.
Well, and see, part of the other problem is they have to be able to do this, they have to find the hippopotamus far enough away from water that when they initially tranquilize
It doesn't make it to the water.
it doesn't make it to the water and drown.
Okay,
I'm not seeing
that
an issue
doesn't
here.
seem- that doesn't seem like a thing that you need to worry about. Tranquilize it. If it makes the water drowns, you solve the issue.
But remember, American watermelons are involved in this problem.
Who cares what American watermelons think in Colombia?
Apparently, the Colombian government, because they're listening to this bullshit.
So, speaking of somebody that's dealt with a hippopotamus problem before, you find a hide in something they can't knock over. You get
That's going to be a big fucking tree.
Or you can build one they can't knock over, and you sit up there with a 375 or a 470 double rifle, and you pop them behind and drop them right there.
I still think, Barrett
will work too. They're
Barrett
good.
Hippo gun.
Hippo roasts are good. Hippo meat is really, really good. I'm just going to throw that out there. Hippo meat is delectable.
Doug, they didn't make it through the Darien Gap. Pablo Escobar actually imported them for his private zoo.
Yep, for his kids.
And that was one of
cocaine
the
hippos.
things. Yeah, they were the cocaine hippos, literally, because they would get into the cocaine.
Hippos are excellent eating. Hippos are damn fine eating. The meat's fine grained. It tastes really good. There was some insanity in the 1800s in the U.S. What?
That's what I was going to say. They thought about breeding them up here.
Breeding them up here in Mississippi. Fortunately,
cattle.
Yeah. Fortunately, some sane people said, "Wow, no."
Yeah.
Hippos they're useful. They do keep they'll keep the waterways clear because they do eat a lot of aquatic vegetation.
Yeah.
And crocodiles.
And crocodiles don't like hippos.
Yeah.
They have some really great ivory.
Yeah.
And hippo bone, you can carve and scrimshaw hippo bone quite nicely.
Yeah.
The hide makes great boots and everything else, and the meat's good. The meat is excellent.
Which were all things in its favor when they talked about putting them in Mississippi.
It's just the fact that they're psychotic hose beasts.
Without cocaine.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that is, this all sounds good, and telling everybody that they're good eating might have worked at one point. But now people won't even harvest deer in general.
Excuse me, I've been freezing my balls off this season.
Actually, we're a block from the train tracks, Jim, or Doug. That's what you heard. Hippos replace bulls? Hell no, Jason. There would be dead cowboys everywhere.
Hippos kill. People do realize that hippos kill more than any other predator in Africa, right?
Yep, they're the number one.
They're
if you eliminate the mosquito, they're number one.
Yeah. As far as mammalian or large-scale predator or large-scale non-insect life, hippos wipe out more than anybody else.
And I think,
including Cape buffaloes.
I was going to say, I think Cape buffalo are number 2.
Capes are probably number 2, depending on the year. But
sneaky fucking cows.
But hippos are not.
Funny story from Vietnam. The peasants over there, yes, they are more deadly than Cape buffalo.
They kill more people than capes do.
Yes. Usually 1 or 2, depending on the size of the village.
Right.
They might have 1 or 2 water buffalo.
Right.
That they use for plowing. Well, what they found out was that water buffalo hated the smell of American servicemen. So they were using water buffalo as guard dogs in a lot of the villages. And that was because we ate meat. They didn't eat meat because they didn't have meat.
Ate fish and rice.
They ate fish and rice if they were lucky.
I might have known somebody who had 4 water buffalo painted on his gun shield in Vietnam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was the usual thing. Was if you were a helicopter crew and you were hot and going on a mission and saw a water buffalo, you shot it.
Yeah. Oh no, he was either truck transport crewman, or for a while there he spent some time in the U.S. Army Navy.
Ah, okay.
Hippos are psychotic. I'm just going to throw that out there. Hippos are psychotic. Disney made people believe that hippos wore little tutus
Yeah.
and dance. They don't.
Well,
and everybody wanted a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah.
Bambi.
Oh, that hippo, that and Oklahoma, speaking of Oklahoma and hippos. So when that song came out, the Oklahoma City Zoo used it as a fundraiser and they bought a hippo in like 1958 with that money
Why?
because they wanted a hippo at the zoo. You know how long that hippo lived?
3.2 minutes.
2010.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you get between a hippo and the water,
Yeah.
they turn you into
Paste.
Taste.
yes. If you get between a male hippo in water or out, doesn't matter, a bull hippo and his harem, he's going to turn you into paste. Doesn't matter if your boat gets between a somehow, or even a male hippo, a bull hippo decides that your boat is making eyes at his harem, he destroys the boat and you in it.
Yeah, there is a video out. I saw it a
Oh,
month or
it's
so ago.
so cute, this hippo cresting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Run.
Yeah.
Put the coal to it.
Yeah.
Make it flank speed, whatever,
Yeah.
attack speed, more turns the screw. Because this hippo is cresting going after this boat.
Yeah.
And the
he was
comments,
not far behind it.
and the comments are, oh, it's so cute. No, that's not cute.
It's angry.
He's on an attack run.
Yeah, all the thing about Mu Dang, the pygmy hippo attacking people, he's practicing.
Yeah, Mu Ding is practicing. It's like
Sir,
Nikki Kenyon, God bless her, is in love with Mu Ding. I keep saying,
yeah, Sir Brass, what's the best round for hippo? Large.
um,
Large and standoff.
if you're in a
105.
high hide,
8-inch.
they're all right.
Yeah.
If you're in a high hide and they can't knock it down, a 375 with solids will get the job done. 470 is better. If you're not in a high hide, a M82 Barrett.
Grape shot, canister,
Mooding is a
pygmy.
pygmy
Pygmy
hippo
hippo.
somewhere in
China.
That the entire internet has fallen in love with.
Yeah.
Although I have seen now
Harambe's replacement. Good call, Richard.
a lot of the Warhammer 40K players, there is a miniature you can print that's Mu Ding with a Cairn helmet.
Chonburi, Thailand. Okay.
Oh,
I was
Thailand?
wrong.
And it literally blood for the blood god.
Not wrong.
No, Mooding has not been shot yet.
Nope.
Yet.
No, and everybody's in love with this little fucking
And when he weighs, 600 pounds, I think is where
this.
pygmies top out.
Yeah. Somewhere around that.
And you got these pictures of Mu Ding on somebody's leg. It's all so cute. He's practicing.
He's got a taste for human flesh.
He's practicing.
I'm just sitting here thinking a 600 to 1,000 pound steer
Yeah.
is deadly as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Hogs aren't the only reason I carry a 357 Magnum when I'm cutting trees.
Yeah, the throwing in the whole hippo attitude and everything else on top of 1,000 pound critter. I don't care if it's only 600 pounds and it's cute.
Yeah.
It's 600 pounds.
And it's
Yeah.
not. No.
People, well, you got to remember, guys, the
People are
majority.
stupid.
Nobody could argue that.
Yes, but most people in the United States have not had the encounters that we have had with
Next point.
large animals in their natural state.
Which is
Sad.
mind blowing to me because of the number of hogzillas and bears in the U.S.
In Texas.
and
Okay.
cows and
The
elk.
majority of people in the United States have never been outside the city limits.
I remember in 1969 when I was in college at Louisiana Tech, we had a kid there from Harlem
Oh God!
who was majoring in nuclear engineering,
Right.
and he wanted to see a cow. He
Mm-hmm.
had never seen a real live cow.
Yeah, okay.
So we took him over to the ag side of the campus.
Those
And
aren't cows. Those are pavement princesses.
yeah,
Those aren't cows. Those are pavement princesses.
I have a mental image of. Never mind. Keep going.
and he was looking at them, and there were 3 or 4 of them in a pen. And he said, "Oh, they're a lot bigger than I thought they were." And one of them kind of walked by us, and he reached in to scratch it, like he was going to pet it. And the bull took offense at that.
Yeah.
Did you take the fence down?
And the bull started charging Vince. And he goes, "Oh, this one's coming over so I can pet it." And we're all going, "No."
Whang, whang,
And he hit that fence. And I'm not going to say his eyes got this big, but I could see white all the way around.
My cousin came to visit the farm. Now, my cousin lived in Lexington, so he lived in a city.
Yeah.
We had a beef farm. And now, my cousin, we had Charolais, which are a white cow.
Yeah.
We had Herefords, the red and white face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Angus.
Black or red?
Black.
Okay.
So he comes up, and we convinced him that the reason we had the 3 different colored cows is the white cows gave regular milk, the black cows gave chocolate, and the red and white gave strawberry quick. Now, this is bad enough. But he wanted some chocolate milk. He loved chocolate milk. So we told him, "See that cow over there?
One off by himself, herself?
One off by himself?
It looks like he's been doing steroids.
Grab his tail and twist it, and he'll give milk."
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Jim the bull was not happy with my cousin.
Speaking of the Wichita Mountains, there is a wildlife refuge there. Very nice wildlife. They've actually got elk in the Wichita Mountains. But what they do have is one of the few breeding populations of American bison.
Yeah.
I
was going to say Atwater's prairie chicken, but
yeah, and prairie chickens.
Yeah.
But no, and when you get to the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge, the whole thing's behind a game fence, and you drive through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So you're on a dirt or gravel road with yeet cows on either side. And it's great hiking. If you're hiking or fishing, it's a great place to go, as long as you bear in mind that there's Paleolithic megafauna wandering around.
Yep.
So 1984, I'm in high school. My ROTC unit goes to Pendleton. And we're humping out to range 210 Charlie. And we come around the corner, and here's this Jeep with this fat old gunnery sergeant sitting in it. And he goes, "Buffalo." That's all he said. We go around the next bend. Oh, yeah. There's the buffalo.
Yeah.
So Matt Hambright and I, my partner from the sheriff's office and I, we were heading over to do some fishing. And we come out of Medicine Park, which is a lovely little town. And we go into refuge, and we go around that first big turn, and we stop, and there is a Honda Civic parked with both doors open, and the guy is taking pictures of a buffalo who's going. Matt stops, reaches in the back seat, gets out a soda, hands it to me, gets out a soda.
Now, when we went through, when Sarah and I went through there a year or two ago, maybe 3 now, she got some nice close-ups of buffaloes.
Mm-hmm.
However, she got close-ups because she was using a telephoto
Yes.
lens.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Last thing on the picture, and all you see is black fur.
Yeah. Like Rant says, we were exploring the haunted forest and came out 50 yards away from the south end of a northbound facing bison.
Yep.
We backed slowly back into the forest and swung wide. Yes. And Cedar says she was using a 500 millimeter lens. Good.
Chris and I we up there hiking a lot, and we were hiking across a plain from one. The hiking trails go up.
Yeah.
So we came down off of one, went across this meadow, and saw one we wanted to go to. And we stopped when we got to the edge of this little bowl-shaped depression full of dust. Circular.
It's called a buffalo wall.
And we froze. We looked around, and then we backtracked, backed away.
Buffalo wallows have played in a number of interesting situations.
Oh, yeah.
Including adobe walls.
I was going to say adobe walls.
Yeah.
Last time a civilian got a Medal of Honor was at Adobe Walls.
Yep. People don't realize how deep a buffalo wallow can get.
Yeah, and also fill up with water.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can get 5 to 6 feet deep, and they are probably average 20, 25 yards across.
Yeah.
Fair.
Maybe
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like
depends
that.
on the size of the wool.
Bison are best observed through good optic to long distance. Yes. Hey, Brennan.
That'd be another
Hey,
good
man.
use for a Barrett.
I've seen 9.3 by 62s doing good work and 375s doing good work on Bison. When you got a column, you can actually pull National Park Service put in for their lottery
Right.
to get a Bison color
Permit.
license, Bison permit. And Bison's good eating.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's better than beef.
New Road Warrior says, I got a nice close up of a bison and a bison jam in Yellowstone from inside my car. Smart man.
Battle of Adobe Walls, second Battle of
Yeah.
Adobe Walls. Adobe Walls was a trading post.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was originally a trading post. The first battle involved Kit Carson.
Yeah, trading
Yeah.
post in the Panhandle. It's on private land now, and the owner is very, very twitchy about people getting out there.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, but he'll let archaeologists. If you are a archaeologist that can show the sheepskin,
Yeah.
and have references from other archaeologists he trusts, he'll let you out there. Other than
Yeah.
that, you're not getting Adobe Walls anymore.
Yeah.
But the second battle, Billy Dixon.
Yes.
Billy Dixon and his sharps, they were having a hell of a fight, and the Comanches broke off and rode out of rifle range. And Billy Dixon, who was a buffalo hunter,
Thought they were out of range.
yeah, they thought they was out of range, and Billy Dixon later said he was aiming at the Indians.
Yeah.
But he got his sharps and cleaned a
Medicine man.
medicine man right out of the saddle.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the rest of them said that they couldn't fight somebody who shot today and hit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man, he later said it was pure luck. He was shooting
And
at a group.
Yeah.
Open sights.
Yeah.
45.
Over 1,000 yards.
It was
No,
a
I think
40
it was a 51-10, but don't.
It might have
quote
been I thought it was a 45-120, but
I thought it was 51-10.
it could have been a
Could have been.
45.
I'm not even sure that they know that they knew what it was, because it was just his buffalo gun.
Yeah.
Well, he might have borrowed it. I don't remember. Anyway, so
No, it was his.
he
'Cause
cleaned
he had originally been a contract buffalo hunter out
Yep.
there.
that. Well, that's what he was doing when he was out there. Was
Yeah.
contract buffalo hunting.
So that's why I think it was a 51-10.
It might have been. I know for sure that they went from 45-70 to 45-120
Yeah.
for shooting buffalo because they couldn't get close enough at one point.
Well, they and the 45-70 wouldn't stop them at distance.
At distance, no. And part of that was you had the 45-70, you had the 45-80. They incremented it up.
45-90, and
And then they went to the 120, and that thing looks like a lipstick case.
Yeah.
DA Brock, if I remember correctly, he said he was holding 3 Indians high and 1 into the wind. That's about right.
Yeah.
He was just lobbing rounds.
Yeah.
Well, he was
It was
trying.
only one round.
He was trying to make a point. He wasn't actually until he hit anything. He wanted to burn a couple of ears.
Yeah.
But he just happened to hit the medicine man.
Yeah.
And cleaned him right out of the saddle.
Yeah.
And
And everybody went, "Go, we're done."
Yes, buffalo burgers are excellent.
yeah.
Buffalo steak, buffalo
Yeah.
roast, buffalo.
However, they are very
Buffalo
lean
gals.
also.
Yes, they are.
Mix
They-
a little butter. You mix some little bacon in.
Well,
Yeah.
they if I remember right, didn't they have a hybrid
There-
beefalo?
There is the
yeah.
beefalo floating around.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if I remember right, there's exactly 2 herds of buffalo in North America.
Yeah.
That are not cattle contaminated.
One of them is Yellowstone, and the other one is here in Wichita.
I thought one of them was I thought Yellow Knife was the one that was
Or
the one
maybe
up on
it
the
is
Yellow
Yellowknife.
Knife.
I don't know. It's yellow something.
Yeah.
And
But-
the other one is here in the Wichita Mountains.
Most of the rest of the herds are like all the animals are like 90% bison, 10% cow.
Yeah.
Which when
I
you
had to.
well,
I
when-
had to.
Yeah. The
When you-
medicine wasn't working that day. Yeah.
when you show up and you throw the cattle loose because they can survive, and a 2,000-pound longhorn bull ain't gonna do nothing against a 3,000-pound buffalo bull.
And, get the little violin music,
Yep.
So there was
candlelight. Who knows what happened?
We actually picked up some buffalo burgers at our place down in Hamilton, Wetzel's. Oh, those were some good burgers. And yes, they mixed in bacon with it.
Yeah.
If you're in this area and you don't go to Mears at least once, Mears is this little bitty town on the edge of the Wichita Mountains. And when I say town, I think there's maybe 3 buildings there.
Yeah.
One of them is an 1880s era general store with multiple floors. And it was at one time, after it was a store, it became a geological station, and they still have the
seismograph.
Seismograph. Don't look at the seismograph when you go by.
Yeah.
Just don't. For your own peace of mind, don't look at the seismograph when you go by. But they have their own longhorn herd.
Yeah.
And they make cheeseburgers. Just tell me you want a cheeseburger and leave it at that.
Yeah.
And I
don't get the big one.
It's
the big one is literally
just tell me you want a cheeseburger. Don't get all fancy, just cheeseburger. And holy gods. They'll bring it out in a the gold pan.
Yeah.
They'll bring it out in a gold pan, and it'll be cut in quarters, and you're gonna want to take half of it home, because they also make their own cobbler.
They make their own cobbler. They make their own fries, and the burger comes with a pile of fries that'll feed a family of 4.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Tom Rognaby's here. How's retirement treating you there, Zippy?
Oh, did he officially retire?
He is no longer working at what's it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's it?
Where he used to work.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So congratulations, Bubba.
Diabetes takes the wheel. Oh, that's not good.
Shut up, Toes. You're fine.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
First time,
Tom, that's got to be a scary thought.
First time he's unemployed as an adult. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You could have a second career as an author.
Yeah.
Like that pays.
That can become a first career.
You could send me books. I could publish them and pay you.
Speaking of which, what's coming out?
Harvey Wally sent us his we are going to be publishing Wally's first novel.
Yay.
All right, Tom, that's good.
So Wally has his manuscript in, and we'll be publishing that. Somebody over here is looking at me. Your manuscript's sitting over there. I'm getting through it.
No, I haven't finished the one for the other one for you. That's the one that's already been published. I haven't finished the new one. But that's what that question was for that I asked you earlier.
Winkle Red, they have outstanding cobblers too, and they are huge, and they come with a mound of ice cream on them.
Oh, no kidding.
And you need at least 2 people, maybe 4 to finish it. That's if you didn't need a burger.
Yeah.
I can get on the outside of a Mears burger quite happily.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to schedule that after Johnny gets back.
Yeah. And the thing about Mears is, if you have OCD, don't go.
Yeah.
Do not go to Mears if you have OCD, because
Have you seen my office? I don't have OCD.
I
have PhD.
This building
Video.
was built in the 1880s,
Higher and deeper.
and then
Added to.
So it goes off in odd directions, and the
Floors are not level.
floors aren't level, and the walls are more rhombus than square.
And it used to be a geological station, and I swear they had earthquakes there.
Yeah.
Right.
Kenton says, well, we had first manuscript, but what about second manuscript? Thirdsies. Yes. People are working on them, Kenton.
So, and I'm currently trying to take a bit of a break before 2025 kicks off. That's not going well. Not going well at all.
Oh, here we go. The OCD folks are all going, CDO, damn it.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be. We've got the Malta relaunches coming out, and wait till you see Cedars covers. Oh my God! Wait till you see Cedars covers. Brim to the Dregs. Amanda has picked hers, and it's being edited now for release here pretty quick. Pogue 1, I've seen the cover. The cover's glorious. It will be coming out here pretty quick. Tiffany's got, she pulled in Tiffany, TC Ross on here, for Giant Squealing Robots, is going to have a plethora of stories to read. I'm quite pleased with Giant Squealing Robots. We're going to be kicking off, will it be a Pogue 2? Depends on how Pogue 1 is received. If it's a good seller and people are so interested, Pogue 2, Pogue 3, Pogue 4, you know us.
Yeah.
We'll Space Marine 6.
Isn't there one? I can't remember. The one that opens in January. The Weird
Warfare?
Weird Warfare.
Weird Warfare is going to be good.
Yeah, I got another one to throw at that.
Okay. Plasma Pulp is open and closing. That one's going to be good. I hope. I haven't been reading the stories. I've got so many stories, so much crap I've got to read.
Yeah.
Question for you on, let's say, Weird Warfare, just as an example.
Good.
Okay, I've got a story about a vampire commando.
Okay.
And I write that and I send it in.
Yeah.
And then I write the story about the goblin sappers.
Okay.
Do you have any problem with sending in 2 submissions for the same anthology?
I don't have an issue with it. We will not put
Two of the same
we
one.
will not put 2 of the same author in one, but if you want to send multiple submissions, I don't have an issue with it. The editor that's choosing it, understand that whenever we have anthologies, there is an editor. The head editor is God on that anthology. I'm not gonna joggle his arm. Like Rita. When Rita is editing Moggies, I'm not going to tell her to take a story she doesn't like. I don't tell my editors that they have to do things. I just cut them loose and let them go.
Oh, Sarah, I need to apologize to your daughter. I did not mean to upset her with my comments about her bracelet. It was just, I was so damn surprised to see 1960s Princess telephone wire as a bracelet. I mean, that's something you don't expect. And there's the mailman.
There's the mail dude.
Running late today.
I'm kind of like Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Have
That's my answer.
a good one, Merry Happy New Year.
You know, I've been telling people Merry Christmas all day today, too. So
Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
You're just a little early.
Merry New Year, Happy Christmas, all that other
If you
shit.
see me on Bust the Newspaper in the morning, I'm innocent.
Oh, sorry for that.
I was actually going to take the last 2-3 weeks of December off. That didn't happen. I'm getting
Old?
well, not yes, but no.
Yes.
I got approached by I got an email. It was a batch email, so I don't take this, from the Sharjah International Book Fair, asking if we were going to be making a appearance.
Ooh.
Where is the
No.
Sharjah International Book Fair?
Dubai.
Dubai. Yeah.
United Arab Emirates.
Well, that would be a nice trip for you and Cedar and Jana.
No.
No,
I've been there.
I've
I've
been,
been to
I have too.
Sharjah.
I have too.
I've been there multiple times.
And on that
I
note,
lived
folks,
there for a while.
we've wasted over an hour of your time. Sarah, I hope you get to feeling better. Hopefully we didn't give you anything while you were here other than good food.
Actually the souk in Sharjah, the old souk, is world class.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
multi-level. It's great.
How many of us would actually be admitted to Dubai?
I'm not sure that most of my people are allowed to go to Dubai.
I think I could still get in. I just have to get my
Yeah.
paperwork renewed.
I'm not sure.
Not that I want to go back.
I'm not sure a DOD would let most of my people into Dubai.
Good, Sarah. I really felt bad about that.
I think
Anyway,
the
Happy New Year to
Constitution
everybody.
on that.
Oh, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And
Be
we'll
safe,
see
guys.
you next year.
Yep.
Be safe, guys.
Bye.
Bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean,